helping women age 40 plus who are aspiring to retain their youth to glow and flow so that they can regain the joy and happiness from within. She does this through a combination of ancient Indian healing called Ayurveda, incorporated with NLP or neuro-linguistic programming skills, delicious food and free dance. From Saudi Arabia, living in Calgary, Canada, as a graduate of King Faisal University School of Medicine, she completed her residency at the Children's Hospital of Calgary, then underwent a second specialty at McGill University to become a pediatric endocrinologist. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Suzy Almushcab, MD.
Good morning and good evening to you, Sensei. I am very honored today to being on your interview, and I thank you for having me at doing this. Just thank you, and thanks to your audience for being with us also today.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Suzy. Thanks a lot for joining us from all the way from Canada. Suzy, you are very much specific in coaching and developing women who are above the age of 40. Any particular reason for that?
Well, that's a very good question. Well, first of all, I am a woman above the age of 40, and hey, above the age of 50 even. Mm-hmm. But the reason I actually picked up the age above 40, I believe, in fact, when we are at that age, we start having a lot of, health issues to show up in us. Not only that, but this is the age when we tend to have a lot of hormonal imbalance and all of that. And we tend to also start to look a little bit more inward. And having said that, because I myself had that aha moment in my life, and I wanted to share with not just maybe necessarily I am focusing now on women, but eventually I will open it to many others. But because I went through a lot of issues myself with health and happiness, I really want to bring awareness to women that they don't need to be stuck. They don't need to struggle with many issues that we go through and wait until we have physical manifestations in our body, in our mind, and in our emotions before we actually do something about it. And that's really mainly the reason is I was stuck all my life with many issues, and I caused it to myself. And because of that, it have driven me in the path of finding out what is it that I can help myself. And because I was able to help myself, I really want to spread it and to help other women. And the women are really the core of our society. Mm-hmm. And if they are to help themselves, they are able to help, and feed the right thoughts and the right things to the little kids, whether it's girls and boys, and also help the partners in their lives. Not only the partners, but also they can spread it to the relationship around them. So it's really mainly, I feel that the women have a lot of sense in our society. So if I can tackle the women, I think I can tackle globally, like most of our society. So that's why I picked up the women.
Wow. So those clients, if I may use the word, those clients who approach you today, I'll be asking you questions of the past, but let's talk about the present right now. When they come to you, what are they looking for? Are they looking for happiness, or are they looking for health? Because these are the two terms that you use right now, health and happiness. So what are they coming to you for? Is it for happiness or is it for health?
You'll be amazed. A lot of women actually, they approach me because of emotional things. Mm-hmm. And mostly they want to find that joy that they have been missing. So most of them, they are after the happiness. And you can't really separate the happiness and the health from each other. We mm-hmm. have a say in our culture, if you're happy here, you're healthy in your body, and it goes vice versa. Yeah. If your body is happy, you become also, happy in your mind. So they're very much like linked to each other, and you cannot separate them. So I got to have a happy mind and a happy emotion and a happy soul and everything for my body to be really happy. And that's what they come mostly to undo their unhappiness. and I seem to be having the key for their unhappiness. And yes, a bit of tackling our unlimited beliefs in where we are stuck with, and the conditioning of where our society have conditioned us with. It's amazing when you unlearn all these things and you reprogram your mind. You almost go into the aha moment that, wow, I really don't need to be stuck with all the things that I have believed in, and identifying myself with that, and suddenly you just discover a new reality. And that's what I help them with. Exactly. Yeah.
Now,
and then we tackle the body, of course. Yeah.
You tackle the body and the mind as well.
Absolutely. It's best to go in parallel, because although the body, for when you are stuck for so long, the body unfortunately becomes the mind, because the body has been addicted and has taken almost the autopilot kind of thing and becomes the mind. And no matter what you do up in the mind, the body has already taken over. So when you tackle them both together, that's the best way to do it, actually.
Wow. So you said that you are the key and you have the key. What is the magical key that you use for this?
You see, it is. I'm gonna have to share with you this story, actually, of mine, because I think people will relate to this when they understand that they are not alone. And having said that, like, I myself have always believed that, and allow me here to share my story.
Sure.
I've always believed that I was never good enough, and I've always believed since I was a child I was always like just not even smart enough and not pretty enough. And I'm sure many people, not only women but many people, believe in that, and it becomes our own identity, and we hide under our own beliefs, and we create our own story in our head, and becomes reality. And unfortunately, we live by that belief, and we know nothing but that belief, and it holds us back from doing so many other things. Even though I did accomplish so many things, but I was stuck in my own belief under that domain. And having said that, inside of me was always that feeling of just incomplete. I never felt that I was complete enough. I never felt that I was enough. I always had to impress. I always had to protect me from just not even shining. I always had to hide, and with that I was under enough stress, and with many other circumstances and situations in my life, unfortunately, that my body just started to produce a lot of stress hormones. And as you know, cortisol does not just joke around. And the adrenaline hormone, and unfortunately you become addicted. Your body just crave for these hormones, and you literally become addicted to it. And then physically I started to just manifest from one illness to the other. And if I really to count how many illnesses that I've had, and the doctors will tell you these are true illnesses, when the fact is they are made up from an initiated thought in the mind. Have I really just changed the thought and the perception of things? Things would have just simply looked differently. And as Wayne Dyer, I love his quote, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at actually change. And it's an amazing concept, because for so long of my life, I was looking at things certain way, and I kept always blaming others and blaming my partner, blaming the whole world for everything that is happening to me, from everything, from my unhappiness, from my illnesses, you can't even believe it. Until the one day it was just the aha moment for me. It was just a mind shift, and it took like just simply just that self-awareness. And of course, you would imagine it is, oh wow, what happened, that self-awareness. But it took literally that feeling that why is it that I am blaming the whole world? Why is it that I'm playing the victim role of the circumstances when I can just simply take it inward and say, I am at a cause of everything that happens in my life. And if we do this, life really changes. And of course, I started to wanting to know what I didn't know. I started to learn, and learning is the key. Learning knowledge allows us to actually fire and wire a new network in our head and new experiences, because we live by our past experiences and we live by our emotions. That is all of a past record of our own past, and we just don't change our reality. But when we wanting to create something new, you got to actually go for a new learning, new knowledge, new information, and that is the key actually. So when I teach my clients something totally new, they just go like this is new concept. And yes, if they really want to make a change or a new reality, you really need to know something totally out of your comfort zone. You get out of your box, out of everything that you know of, and you want to know something new, and you fire a new circuit in your mind, and that's all what it takes. And learning is not to stop, because when you stop, your reality just simply stops. So we're here to learn and develop new experiences, new reality, and for a bigger purpose in our life. And that's where I am. So I am today health, I am today happy, I am today all of that. And I want to share it with the whole world. Yes.
Wow. You have been a doctor, a physician. You had gone through Faisal University School of Medicine in Riyadh, if I'm right. Riyadh, or is it in Dammam?
It's in Dammam. Yes,
it's in Dammam in Saudi Arabia. And you practiced for more than around about 26 to 28 years. How many years did you practice as a physician?
In total, 28 years. Yes.
28 years.
And I love practicing. Yes, for sure.
And then you went to you again specialized yourself in pediatric.
That's right. Yeah.
And then,
I graduated in 1986 as a general doctor, and then I specialized to be a pediatrician from here, actually, from Calgary University.
That was from McGill University, if I'm right.
That I did my pediatric endocrinology from McGill in 2002, and then I practiced as an endocrinologist. And I love my patients. I love them. I love them like dearly. And why I did endocrinology, because my two beautiful boys developed type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
So that was a lot of challenge, and I wanted to help my own kids, and that was my motivation of becoming an endocrinologist. So when you live the challenge of being the mother of two diabetic kids, I was really very passionate to help other parents to cope with kids who have diabetes. And it was my, I can't even tell you, it was my territory of, my work was the most amazing thing that I've done in my life. And when time came that I was no longer being able to perform safely around my patients, I had to choose to take myself out of that environment, because I was on so many medications. And I believe my patients, if there are any of them parents or grown-up patients of mine, they are now actually beyond the age of 20, to hear this. Some of them don't understand why Suzy have left her job, because I did not want to really make a mistake in around them, and simply by prescribing a simple hormone can actually take the life of someone. I took myself out of that job, and so that I can live at a safe environment and look after myself, because I was so ill and sick. And the doctors, I'm being a doctor, but the doctors have told me that what you have, you're gonna have to live with it, and just by being out of this environment, maybe things will get better. But hey, you're gonna live with this probably for the rest of your life. And hey, I just want to tell people, you do not need to believe in what people tell you. You need to question everything what others tell you. Not only that, I really want to put this message out there that even us doctors, we say, you got a gene, you have a gene that the doctors will tell you it's going to express itself no matter what. Well, it is not. It is up to us and up to the environment that we choose to let it affect us. You can really turn on that gene or upregulate that gene, or you can really turn down that gene. And so the epigenetics effect on the expression of the gene has a lot to do in the expression of the diseases and the illnesses that we have. So only about 3 to 5% of the expression of the gene will become into physical manifestation. And a lot of others, we are in control of it. And if we are to know this, we do not need to become the victims of what we are born with. And the doctors tell us that you're gonna have to live with that. Like type 2 diabetes, for example, or even multiple sclerosis, or you name it of a disease. You're born with this genetic predisposition, and the doctors will tell you, well, it's gonna express in such a matter. It's not. It is up to me to be in the driver's seat, to believe, to become the victim, and I will turn on that gene or not to believe in that, and I take in full charge of that to not to have the expression of that gene. So we have a lot to do to our allowing the diseases, and unfortunately the pharmaceutical companies are taking an advantage of all of this. And Western medicine has a lot of good things to help us with, but not to really give in to everything in the Western medicine. So we need to use our minds and make the rightfulness of decisions when it comes to our health and our happiness. So yeah, and after that, so I when I was sick, I had to find a way to help me, and I went on from one mentor to the other. So I did permaculture to start with, and then I went and I did Ayurvedic to become an Ayurvedic instructor, and they call it perfect health because Dr. Chopra actually, he integrated the new science along with the ancient East Indian healing system.
Are you talking about Dr. Deepak Chopra?
Yes, Dr. Deepak Chopra. That's where I was qualified to become a perfect health instructor. So he integrated the two together, and it's just a beautiful science to help people really to become well integrated in their mind, body, and soul all together. So yes, and I could not stop at that because I may be taking over here a little bit. Ayurveda is a very much consciousness-based healing system, which is great. But I needed to feel that I have been programmed all my life and conditioned a lot of things and beliefs, and I needed to undo these beliefs. And the consciousness takes only about 3 to 5% of the thinking. And I needed to undo these beliefs. The only way you do it is to talk to your subconscious mind. And that's where I decided to do the neuro-linguistic programming. So I can undo all these blocks and become whom I really want to become. And it was a great thing that I've done. And this is why I want to really share it with other people and be a service to them so that they can undo these limited beliefs and decisions that is holding us back from becoming our full potential and discovering the reality that we're supposed to be and living a reality of ours.
Wow. So you spoke about unlearning and relearning.
Yes, unlearning and keep relearning. Absolutely. Because when we are stuck with what we know and you say, I know what I know, then you can never know what you don't know. And it's an amazing philosophy. And if you say, I don't know what I don't know, and that you are allowing yourself to know really what you don't know. And then that's what we need to really do is to get people to just get out of their conditioned mind and reprogram the mind, and as simple as that. And it doesn't take long. It takes a simple session, very simple session, to undo the limited beliefs and decisions that we've been stuck with all of our life. And we struggle. And people don't need to struggle all their life in order to discover that I am who I am, and I just need to undo all of that and be who I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. If there were to be 3 techniques to release what you said right now, what would that 3 techniques be to release your unlimited belief?
Well, I have to say, it's the unlimited belief I go through. It's a session that I do. I do it one-on-one. But even before that, they have to come to. So I can't really just do a session now. It's just it's a one. But before even doing that, what I do is getting them to the understanding of what is emotional liberation or emotional healing is. And what is really the process of creating reality, because a lot of people actually don't understand the meaning, the process meaning reality, like how do you really create the reality. And if we can understand that, then it is only then you will understand why the limiting beliefs and decisions is a big part of my own process meaning reality that I'm making. So the process meaning reality, meaning that I am actually, that I'm creating constantly, it has to do with my own internal world and my own internal mapping that I am creating. And that really depends on few things. It depends on my driving question that I am having, which is my bigger purpose that I'm having. And sometimes, we have, like, I've had a purpose in my life that I thought it was. It doesn't mean that I am being stuck to that purpose, because that purpose can actually change as we are evolving, as we are learning. And so you can revisit that driving question. And you can ask yourself again, what is my driving question that I am really focused on, that it is driving me to this bigger purpose? And then you can really sit down and write those goals that will take you toward your driving question. And then your life, you'll find that your life is going toward that bigger purpose. So that is the main question that will determine your internal world mapping. That is an important question. So I ask the client to actually write their own driving question. And they don't have to share it, but it can be for themselves, like clarity of it. And the second thing is of course the limited beliefs. So I ask them, what is it that they think is limiting them, whether they feel that I share with them, I always believe that I wasn't smart. And I share with them where it comes from. I mean, I was the age of 8 when I thought I wasn't smart enough. And it built up to other things that it keeps feeding into not being smart enough. So I have made sure that I reaffirm that by things that I hear, and I just made it up and created that story in my head. So, and I made them make a list of that is of their own limited belief, because I cannot put limiting beliefs in somebody's head. It is their own. So they write it down, and then we work on the session of the limiting beliefs. And also the values, the book of rules that I have of my own. Doesn't mean if I have lived with those book of rules of mine, I am about to be 58. Doesn't mean that those book of rules it worked then. Doesn't mean it should work today, or can I actually revisit my book of rules? So that's another question, because is it really book of rules, or is it conditioning that I've been conditioned by the society with those book of rules? Can I revisit those book of rules of mine? Because that will determine my own reality. So that's another thing. And the third thing is actually my story. A lot of people don't want to be detached from their story. They have identified themselves with the story. They feel secure enough by repeating the story. And not only that, for example, you find them in what we call is that they are in a refractory period telling the story for so long, and they stay in either that emotion for so long, staying in an anger for months because they're repeating the event of the story that has happened, for example, 10 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. I could have been that story too. If I to share with you some of the stories, you say, oh, you should be just as mad as like a dog, but I am not. Because what helps is that I am not that story anymore.
Yeah.
I am not living the present past. I'm living the present moment, like right now. So if I get them to really detach from that story and rewrite the story, and what helps to rewrite really the story is to create another story by visual meditation from the future to bring it here. So recreating something they are imagining themselves of the future to bring it right here, as if it's happened, as if it's done. And that's how you recreate. And what helps to do that is meditation. You meditate visually, the future visually here, right here. And of course, so this is like remapping now my internal world. It's an amazing process. And of course, the emotional healing takes a lot of other self-care, self-love, forgiveness. Because if you don't forgive, if you don't love yourself, and you don't forgive yourself, you really can't forgive other people.
Sure.
And if you don't commit to a change, you can't really take full responsibility and accountability of what you really want to create for yourself. So one of the things that with emotional healing, I always say there are I think I count them into 7 steps, but it is when you have an emotion, is for us to remember it's an energy or emotion energy in motion. I always call it in motion. So it's an energy in motion. It is your thought being, you're feeling your thoughts. So and our thoughts are energy. If we have to remember that our thoughts are energy, it's as simple as that. And it's the chemical, the chemical release that is associated with our thought that is leading to the feeling or the emotions. Then you acknowledge this at the time that you're feeling it. Just acknowledge it, no judgment to it and all of that. But remember to go beyond these emotions and to know that you're feeling your thoughts or you're feeling your thinking. And what is it that goes beyond your thinking or beyond your thoughts? And often what's beyond the thought that is making you feel this emotion is your limited belief and your limited decision. And if we can undo this, and that's where neuro-linguistic programming technique that I help client with, is really break this cycle. I am feeling my thinking and I am thinking my feeling and I'm feeling my thinking and I'm thinking my feeling. And it goes into like a momentum and you just don't get out of this momentum. And it builds actually even more and more and you become it. And then when you have another experience that reminds you of the same thing before, you relive this and you build up on the story and you become it even more. You identify yourself even more and more. And that's where we need to break this, because we need to break the origin that is beyond the thought. And that's what emotional healing is. So the other thing, so once we get rid of this unlimited belief, and then, sometimes we also help with journaling and then letting go of this the way you want it, whether you just cut it off and celebrate it. And yes, and it's a great feeling. Once you do this, it's a wonderful feeling. And you start rewriting and visualizing things from the future, and you bring it up here, and you are in the master seat of your driving seat to just recreating. And remember, we've got it all in here. We do not need something from the outside. We have it all. We have it all, and it's just a matter of clicking in and aligning with our source of energy that is within us.
Wow, that was so powerful. And in fact, you took me to my NLP days, my master's in NLP and all those things you were talking. I was thinking about the anchoring part of it. I was thinking about the map is not the territory and all those things you were talking about it. Suzy, it was indeed a great pleasure for having you on this show and to sharing what you have gone through, because you've gone through an experience, because you're an experienced physician, you're an experienced doctor with 28 years of experience, and that really shows in your conversation. Suzy, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure, Sensei. I am very, very grateful for this interview. I can't even express my feeling. I think you can see it through my eyes, but I'm truly thrilled and have had the most wonderful conversation with you, Sensei. And I look forward to having more of these conversations along my journey. So I'm growing, and I just want to say that I'm growing, and I am every day I learn something new, and I love to share it with other people. So just want to say thank you again. So
thank you very much. Thanks, all. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Suzy.